Hi, this video shows you how to send data to update dashboards from scripts or from the command line using webhooks. So the quickest way to try it is to create a sample dashboard, go into the examples tab on an empty card and selecting sales dashboard from a CSV file. So now I have this example that I created in another guide you can check in the documentations. It creates this dashboard over here. I'm going to set it to read only so we can see it better later. And the source of the dashboard is a CSV file we can see here. I'm going to give it a name. It's set to persistent, so that's why it loads the data. It's the last data that was saved to that channel. I'm going to give it a more descriptive name, my CSV sales data. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to clean the output so that we can see the changes. The first thing we need to do to update a dashboard from a webhook is go to the admin section, and in the hook section create a new one with the channel that is the source of our dashboard, in this case my CSV sales data. And I'm going to add a description, CSV sales dashboard, so I later know what this hook is about. There are two ways to copy this unique URL. One is to select it, and the other one is to click the copy to clipboard button there. What it does, this hook, is whenever somebody does an HTTP request with the post method to this URL, the body of that request will go and appear on this channel, which is the source of this dashboard. So what we are going to do now, I'm going to collapse this and to have some more space. We are going to send it in different ways. The way you send it depends on the tools you use and the programming language you use. We are going to explore some, JavaScript, Python, and the command line. But of course, any programming language has in its standard library or as a package a way to do HTTP requests to send data. For this case, I built a small script that generates example data with this format. So I built it in JavaScript with a tool that runs it called Dino. So I'm going to say Dino run. My script is called sales.js. I want the format output as a CSV because this script can generate output in many formats, and I want 2 rows. And you can see there that there are 2 rows, and if I generate it again, they are going to have different values, and I can say that I want 10, for example. This script is here, github.com/instadex/data generators in the Deno folder and the sales.js file. And the first way I'm going to show you is this JavaScript has a function called fetch, which you specify URL and an object with options. The two required for this case are a method post and the body. The headers, you don't need to send them. Instadex is not going to use them. So let's do that. So I said that I want now, let's say 100 rows, and I'm going to send them to the hook URL, which I pasted there. So now, when I hit enter, it will appear over here. I have to tell it that it can use the network. I have to give permissions. So as you can see, it appeared, and I will send it again, and you will see that the numbers at the right column will change. And you can see here that I will send it again, and it will update. And it will update for anybody that is looking at this deck or the dashboard when shared. So this is the first way, of course, doing a script, in this case JavaScript, that sends data using the fetch function in JavaScript. Let's do other ways. Like you have a file and you want it's generated and exported, and you want to write a small shell script that will send it. We can store this. Let's generate a CSV file with this information. We can see that it exists. Of course, every time I send it, it will have the same data. So the easiest way from the terminal to do it is with curl, which is a command line tool to make HTTP requests. We are going to paste our URL and say data-binary option. That symbol means from a file, and our file is sales.csv. I'm going to clean it so that we can see that appears. We can see that it appeared over there. And the other option is with wget, which is another tool that is installed in more systems, but you have to pass more options to do this. So you have to say Q from quiet, so it doesn't write progress in the output, and that you want the returning response written to the standard output. You can write it to a file if you want. And then the URL and the option post file and our file. It's clean, so now it will appear there. That's with wget. And another option is, for example, with the Python script that is available in many systems and many people use it for many reasons, a lot for data science, for example. So I have a script that is called send file to URL. It expects a URL and then the path to a file, which is mine. I'm going to clean this and it will appear there. As you can see, there are many ways to send files from files and directly as they are generated. We are going to see one more now, but any programming language has a library or a package in the package manager that can do HTTP requests, and this is a way to automate the refresh of data from a dashboard. You don't have to do anything. You create it with a CSV card or a JSON file card or a spreadsheet card, and if then later you can consume the data from a program or a script or something that runs periodically, you can send it automatically to InstaDeck by creating a hook that maps to this channel for the CSV file. And you can still use it if you, for some reason, the script fails or something, you can manually go there and drop it and it will work the same way. The CSV file card doesn't differentiate if you drop it manually or if you pick it from the file picker or if you send it from a webhook, it will work the same. You don't need to do any change. So lastly, I'm going to show, for those interested in doing it, is if you have this script that generates this file and that's not a and generates the column, and you want to send it directly because your script doesn't have or you have a script or a program that outputs the data directly to the standard output, you can pipe it to curl and paste the URL and say data binary at and a dash, which means from standard input. And I will clean this to show it, and it will appear there. The same can be done with wget and with the Python script. So as you can see, it's really simple. It requires one line on the command line, 2 lines on JavaScript, and 2 lines on Python, which I can show you. I think I didn't show you the Python script. Here is in the same repository, send file to URL, and these 2 lines use the urllib module from the standard library, so you don't have to bring any external package like requests, and it will send the data to you. Just to close it, if you are using like nushell, there's a built-in command called post where you specify the URL and then the body. Here in this case, I'm sending the body from the output of a command, but you can here cat from a file or something like that. So there are many ways to send data to webhooks. Most of them involve 1 or 2 lines, and it's a really easy way to automate the refresh of data in your dashboards. So if you have any question, just leave it in the comment section below or contact us on social media. Bye.